Hey Wreck Nation, this is Jess of WreckedRadio, and today I'd like to share some of my thoughts on a particular artist. I've done this before, probably a year ago. I guess I don't do these enough, about Taylor Momsen, because I was kind of trying to talk through how I felt about a certain artist, and I'd like to do that again with Lana Del Rey. Recently, Lana was in the news because last week she covered Heart-Shaped Box, a Nirvana classic grunge staple to a lot of fans, and it was received mostly negatively by Spin being criticized as weak. In her early career, a couple years ago, she did try to sign on with a different record label than the one she has now, but her record was shelved, and not a lot of people knew about her until a couple months ago when she had her, what I call her debut weekend, because literally, she went from nobody knowing who she was to everybody forming an opinion about her in literally 2 days. She premiered some of her remixes on rdrclabel.com. She gave away a free song on iTunes. She was the free song of the week. And she was being talked about by musicians like John Mayer, who covered her song Video Games acoustically. And she premiered on SNL, which was a big deal in her history. Like I said, I do remember that weekend. Literally, my story with that is I saw on the internet, like, all these things. She was everywhere. When I watched SNL, I had known about her for a couple days. Barely formed an opinion about her, but I did know the song, Born to Die, and I wanted to check out what she would do on SNL. I thought she was strange. It's what she did. It was she stood up there in a beautiful dress. She's beautiful. And she did kind of these weird hand movements. Her song was very alternative, and when she sings, she changes pitch almost as if she's throwing her voice or changing her voice like a character actor. It was either really appealing to someone who was looking for something unique or really confusing to someone who didn't know what they were watching. And what I do believe a lot of rock fans and folk and indie fans were seeing, possibly, at least this is what I thought, was that because of this explosion weekend when she was selling her debut Born to Die, the execs seemed to be selling her off as something that was indie, that was alternative, that was very self-made, but they wanted to make it popular. She was being sold as this kind of Twee and Margaret reincarnation that was retro, odd, and trying to, I think, target some of the underground listeners. But really, how can you be underground if you're being so promoted and making videos that are very high caliber, high budget, at least that's what it looked like, trying to give off this message. Even in Born to Die, it's confusing because you see her style, and then the love interest of the entire video is a tattooed gauge-eared punk rocker, like skinny rock star. I wonder if he was anybody. I never checked. He looks so familiar, and I think I tried to look him up because I thought he looked like a singer of a band, but I think I was wrong. Now, this is WreckedRadio. We're of course going to look at the music, which should be the most important thing, right? Above style, above image, above marketing, music should be the important thing. So we're going to look at two different things separately. We're going to look at sound, which is kind of production and voice, and we're going to look at lyrics, which is the area, I'll tell you right now, that gives me the most problems and raises the most questions. So first of all, her music is kind of retro, but also gangsta, a little bit of hip-hop, as she describes herself. She's got this breathy kind of retro Emmylou Harris or Anne Margaret or Nancy Sinatra, if you will, kind of sound. And really, I think the songs are mixed beautifully. They do have a lot of remixes that you can find. I think that her producers really tried to push. But the originals are very, very beautiful. They're unique, and a lot of them have orchestral background to them, and I just love listening to them. Sometimes I wish I didn't know English, because her lyrics, in my opinion, are what I wrote down: Britney Spears worthy meaningless. If you just read the music out loud, you can understand that the choruses to each of her track, like 1, 2, 3, 4, as it goes along, is about the same thing about loving somebody forever. She finds different cliche ways to say that. I will love you till the end of time. After a number all of these years, or what she says, you know, she kind of really regurgitates a lot of, you know, 70s to 90s to 2000s pop. But then she'll drop shit in there like James Dean and PBR in order to hold the audience that it seems like she's trying to go for, that she dresses for, that she, you know, her voice would appeal to, as if she's hoping to make some kind of connection with the underground, yet still keep a very large fan base, which just shouldn't work usually. So when it comes down to it, people are just confused, I believe. They don't know what to do with her. They don't know what genre to put her in. They don't know who should be listening to her or who she wants to be listening to her. A lot of her music, including That's What Makes Us Girls, it seems like it's very targeted to a very specific audience of rich, you know, Coke New York partiers, like rich skinny girl partiers, like this, like I want to say a Kat Marnell, if you know who I'm talking about. I just learned who she was, and I love her. But those kinds of people that she's talking to, I think from what I read in her Wikipedia, she lived in a trailer park, but she lived there by choice. Like she could go home at any time. I'm repeating that, and I'm not sure, but that's kind of what it seems like. So it seems like the rock audience is not fooled, and when it comes to the thing like the cover of the heart-shaped box, people get very offended. This girl out of nowhere, this really this twee sensation, this soul sensation is taking their music and doing something with it. My opinion about that song is that it was by Spin and a lot of the viewers done weekly. I think that it was awesome. It was really creepy in its sound. It was stripped down because you're listening to a live version. I loved it. But then again, when I'm listening to her other music, those lyrics get in the way. Bottom line, I'm still on the fence. I listen and loved like every song on her new album, but like I just cringe whenever I hear the lyrics. When I'm listening to them, I'm like, what are you talking about? Are you talking about anything? I don't actually know if she writes her own lyrics, which, you know, you'd like to assume so, but, you know, this day you have no idea. Because she's labeled as a songwriter. But, you know, I guess you can write a sentence and be labeled as a songwriter, so I'm not sure if she actually does write these. If she does, then she could be labeled as very simple-minded. If she doesn't write them, she's seen as a fake. So really what I feel like I'm doing is I'm indulging in the sound. I'm really loving the weirdness of it, the oddness. And I again am attracted to her like she's beautiful. But as for you know, listening to what she's trying to say, if anything, I just can't buy it. Do you think she's like compensating for her first failed record signing, trying to make it, but still trying to retain her image? Or should she just, you know, no excuses, be regarded for being a good artist? You know, it depends on what you guys think. I love to know what you guys think. Please, this is what this is for, to help me figure out if she is a good artist or not. Write down in the comments what you think about her, and if I got any facts wrong, I didn't say a whole lot of facts because I really generalized it, but if there's something that you know about her that I don't, or that I said wrong, please let me know what you think about Lana Del Rey. I have talked about her before on her debut weekend when I did WreckedRadio, but not as in-depthly and not in retrospect. So now that she's been out for a little while, I'd like to look back on her and say I'm still confused. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace, love, rock and roll.